Modern Age Comics here. I just wanted to make a short video basically to complain about what Marvel has been doing recently. Generally, the ending of titles, the relaunching of titles, the movie tie-ins, partially Superior Spider-Man as much as I enjoy it. Uh, we'll start with the movie aspect. I'm not really fond of the tie-ins. Not even that they're tie-ins, just the pretending to be relevance. Um, the current Captain America by Rick Remender. The last issue that I read, Falcon and Winter Soldier are both mingling into the story. I don't find it to be necessary. I understand they're going to be in the movie, but that doesn't mean you have to force them into a story. Now, I'm not saying the story's bad. I'm not saying they're bad characters and they're not needed and they're not part of the Captain America world, but I can imagine, especially Rick Remender, I can imagine he had ideas of his own and that this was pushed. Now, for this case, this may not be an issue, but I'm sure other writers, and it could even be affecting the artist, to have a story pushed or change their story just so it partially relates to the comics. So if a fan of a movie were to go into a store and pick up a comic that was recent, they would see familiar characters. Now I get the marketing scheme behind that, which Marvel tends to be going overboard with lately. Their marketing schemes. I mean, Marvel now, no matter what you call it, it is a scheme. Did it work? Is a lot of it great? Yes. But to end titles that are at its top, that have won Eisner Awards, to end Daredevil, just to relaunch it at #1 with the same writer and the same artist. Why? Because the story makes sense to be relaunched? That's nonsense. Not too long ago, writers were changed. Just if they weren't doing good, it was changed. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's only sales, if that's a major issue. I mean, that's another problem. Miles Morales as Spider-Man, Flash Thompson as Venom. Ultimate Universe sales weren't done good. At least they're ending it with an event. At least they're doing something about it. Venom kind of faded out. Now, I asked Cullen Bunn not only about Venom, but about his Fearless Defenders, of why they were ending, and he gave me an honest response on Tumblr, and he simply said sales. Now, it's not his fault. He wrote Venom and Fearless Defenders very well. Both comics were great. Even after he picked up from Remender, it was consistent. The fact of the matter is, for whatever reason, Marvel was either putting too much money in and not getting enough money back. They're ending them. Now, as far as ending them, okay, we got news that Venom's going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy. That's not Bunn writing him anymore. That's Bendis writing him. That's him being a part of something that doesn't even make sense. Fine, I'm happy he still exists. What are they going to do with Miles? They're just gonna throw him into the regular universe? I mean, in my opinion, I'm not a big fan of the Ultimate Universe, so he is the only good thing to come out of it. So sure, I'll take anything at this point. Bring him into the main universe. Spider-Man wasn't that great. Sorry, Bendis, it just wasn't that great. The little ending cliffhanger that there was a Miles Morales in the regular universe already didn't really explain it, but you could pick up with him, have the actual one come from the other universe, whatever. But this just ending things because of the way sales are going is not exactly, what's the word? It's not really loyal to the fans, because Agent Venom is plastered everywhere. Miles was a milestone, no pun intended there, was a milestone for Spider-Man fans, for comic book fans, for everything. I mean, in a lot of cases, people can relate to him more than Peter Parker. To Peter Parker, though. Superior Spider-Man, as much as I love Slott, as cool of a guy he is, I'm beginning to pick up on, this may be brilliant, this may be not, but I'm beginning to pick up on Dr. Octopus is literally reliving Spider-Man's major moments. If that's true, his little person girlfriend is going to get her neck snapped. He's going to have Venom on him for a little while. He's going to get rid of it. I mean, what else is there? And Green Goblin's coming back to snap the neck. I mean, there's Venom. Well, next is the clones. Like, all you need is the return of Ben Reilly. Like, I mean, honestly, I will pull up a list and I will read. There's tons of similarities that I can't even think of offhand. But obviously the main ones are, oh, here. This is a little far out. College years. He goes back to college, gets his doctorate. Okay, that was a big milestone in Peter Parker's life. In the comics, the transition from high school student Daily Bugle, that was what he was. By being a prick now, he's become re-hated by the media, something that he finally got out of. He's joining the Mighty Avengers. A lot of people don't realize, but Spider-Man joining the Avengers, or New Avengers at all, was a big deal at the time. So now that he's joining the Mighty Avengers, a new team. I mean, there's just a lot that I feel like it's playing out in the same thing just to end up the same way, for him to have this big epiphany that he relived and made the same mistakes as Peter Parker, and probably will be the reason that Peter Parker goes back into his own mind. I feel Superior will probably be the one to say, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm going to give him back his body. Long story short, I don't like what Marvel's doing. I don't like the ending of titles to bring it back as #1. Their sales nonsense is, I really think it's nonsense. I would love for them to just post some numbers. I don't necessarily want profit margins, I just want some numbers. Because Wolverine and the X-Men, I'm sorry, but Jason Aaron has been on a roll. I would say it really started and picked up, for me at least, with his run on Wolverine. Okay, so he goes from there, and then that goes side by side with Wolverine and the X-Men. That was amazing from the get-go. It's been bi-weekly ever since. They're ending it for what reason? His run on Thor is no compare to what he's doing with Wolverine and the X-Men. They are now ending it for someone new to pick up, start up, and focus on the children. My thing is, do we need 10 volumes of the same titled comic book? I mean, Fantastic Four. Marvel Now, Fantastic Four #1. Great. Back. FF #1. Great. Back. They're just ending them both, and Fantastic Four will be relaunched at #1 with new writer, new artist. That I get. Fantastic Four wasn't doing great. Wolverine and the X-Men's been doing great. Why are you doing that? Oh, because there's a new X-Men movie coming out? I mean, it all ties in. All of it ties in. There's a reason for everything, and I don't want to figure it all out, but I'm not sure what the company is quite thinking. Because the comic fans and the movie fans, yes, are the same, but different in the same aspects. Every comic fan doesn't go to the movies. Every movie fan doesn't go buy a comic. Yes, there's a big in-between middle who read a little, do this, but I don't want to say keep it separate, but to involve them this much and make decisions this much, and to literally relaunch things at #1 just so you know that that new comic book fan you just made from a comic book movie will go and buy something. It's not necessarily the nicest way to do things. I mean, a lot of things just didn't need to end. Not quite yet, not quite this way. They've always done it before, of trying a new writer, trying a new artist, bringing in a new writer to help. This relaunching because it didn't get what you wanted, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling Marvel Now anymore, and I'm angry that my pull list is so much Marvel Now. I, it's literally double what DC is. And I'm ashamed that my image list and my independent list is at 4 or 5 right now, which probably will lessen in time. But Marvel Now, as much as I can say bad about it, is winning. They consistently are having the better titles that are staying truer. It's that, or they're just ending, and for every one thing they end, they throw 5 or 6 new at us. Either way, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to try and drop any Marvel Now because of the way I feel, but either way, I hope they kind of chill out with this, because as much as I enjoy number one, I would like to not have 10 of them of the same character within months of each other.